I'm Kirk Watson. I'm a proud AFSCME member, and I'm proud to be your mayor. I'm a big believer in union membership, and I'm a big believer that it helps elevate what we want to do, particularly in public service. And because what we're able to do is, as a group, ask for the things that we need in order to make sure that public servants are getting what they deserve in terms of pay, getting the benefits they deserve, but also it helps when working together and collaboratively, we're able to decide how better to provide those services. And I'm convinced that unions help us with that as well. So I'm a big believer in unions generally. I've proved that with my past efforts and works with unions, but in the public service realm, I think it's what helps elevate the role of public servants and the role of a public servant. Well, I could filibuster this one because I feel very strongly about how I've worked closely with AFSCME for 25 years. I was mayor one time before, from 1997 to 2001, and one of the things I'm proudest of is that was a moment in time where we worked directly with the manager's office and AFSCME so that AFSCME was better recognized at City Hall so that we could be advocates for different things to be done and changes to be made and progress to be achieved. When I was in the Texas Senate, I was the senator that carried the bill to create meet and confer for AFSCME, and I passed that sucker. Started to say something else about it. I passed that sucker more than once in the Senate, but because of time and difficulties over on the outside. But that's how strongly I felt about giving meet and confer benefits to AFSCME so that we could make better progress. I just feel like it ought to be recognized. Here most recently, one of the things that I'm proud of is that when things got a little upset, if you will, when we switched from the city manager that I was involved in making sure moved on, and we had an interim city manager, the telework policy. Keep in mind, I was the senator that passed, again, legislation. We passed it in the Senate, it passed in the House, but it was vetoed by the governor to make it easier for state agencies to allow for telework. Well, when the apple cart got a little upset at City Hall over the past year, one of the things that I did was intervened and worked to make sure that we worked to get things straightened out. Now, I got to tell you, I don't think we've done everything we need to do in that regard, and I think that's one of the reasons that people ought to be running for re-election and doing those kinds of things, is because we haven't had enough time to fix a couple of things, and that's one of those areas that we need to fix. Another initiative that I'm real proud of is we've made it where it's just assumed that we're going to build into the base budget a pay increase. We're right now in the middle of the budget, or I say in the middle, we're moving toward the end of the budget process, but it's the work we did last time to assure that not only was there a pay increase, but there was also an increase in the living wage for people at the city. Well, now it's just part of what we're doing. I mean, we're not having to wake up in a new world. We just know that that's something that you're going to have the support on the council for. So when I hear that question, the first visual that pops into my head is my old man. Because my old man was a career government employee, and he saw it as the highest service, highest calling that he could have. And of course, it instilled in me a couple of things, not only a love for public service, but a love for people that provide the public service, the day-to-day job of providing the needs of our citizens, meeting those needs. So when I think of that, what I think of with that question, what I think of is that we need to make sure we're doing the things we need to do so that we can attract and retain people in careers. That includes things like making sure that the wages are where they ought to be, making sure that the benefits while they're working are what they ought to be, making sure that we do things that make quality of life meaningful, like maternity leave and paternity leave, doing those sorts of things. How we allow for work to occur, things like teleworking and making sure that's done in a way that benefits the employee and assures that the public service is being done. Those are very important. And of course, we also need to think about what we're going to do when we've asked somebody to provide a lifetime, a career of public service, and they're retirees. We need to make sure that the benefits are there so that they can do like my mama and daddy did and have a good retirement because the benefits were provided after a great career of public service. So all of those are the kinds of ways I think of things, and I come at it from a really personal point of view. I wouldn't be here but for a government employee, someone that wanted to provide that public service. And I think about that every day when I'm thinking about the members of AFSCME and the people that are working at the City of Austin.